Hello, and welcome to Belting at Windmills, a proud member of the Doof Network, where we're explanting James S. A. Corey's novel series, The Expanse. I'm longtime Expanse fan, Elliot Diebold.
And making my first journey up the well, I'm Reuben Morehouse. This week, we're starting our second main trilogy. We're covering the prologue through to Chapter 7 of Cibola Burn. New book. We're on a new planet, Ilus. And there's a fight brewing between the colonists who've only been here for 1 day and the colonists who've been here for like 4 days. And that means they have a right to this place. Who can we call to resolve this intricate crisis? I know just the guy.
Yes, the master of politics himself.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, gosh, let's just get it. I think this is such a fun setup for our book. I was instantly on 100% on board with this book when I started it, and it was like, oh, cool, because this is like a really earned humans first settling an alien planet story, because we've just spent 3 books where humans haven't done that before.
Yeah.
And like the whole like wondrous first contact, or not really, of it all, like lands even harder when it's a bit like we have spent 3 books with a humanity who hasn't done any of this shit before.
Well, yeah, especially because it's like we're coming into this world and it's got 3 main different little kind of setups. We've got Earth, we've got Mars, we've got the OPA or the outer planets. And it's like those are all kind of pretty locked in. There's conflicts between them, but they've already got their ways, and we're coming in to understand how they are and how they got like this. But they're set in their ways. And now we've got this other thing that's like, hey, is it its own thing? It's people trying to start a new life, but really, and there's this like question of like, is it actually a new thing, or is it really just them bringing their old political systems with them? I mean, we'll get into this, but really it's just the OPA, or kind of an anarchic version of the outer planets, trying to set up their own new place that's kind of like the outer planets, and Earth's like, no, this is going to be like Earth. And I don't know.
So far, it's kind of just the old package has made its way.
It's the old package, exactly. There's like a discussion of this being a whole new thing, but it really is just the old ways presenting themselves again. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think we'll get into the dilemmas within this book and see how we feel about them as they evolve.
Yeah. Well, I suppose
first,
let's get into it. I mean, we actually open the book with a prologue from Bobby Draper's perspective.
I was so happy to see this, but then I was like, wait, hold on a second. The people in the prologues always die by the end of the prologue. They get turned into a proto-molecule monster, and I'm like, oh, fuck. But no, to our knowledge, she hasn't died by the end of this prologue.
That would be a twist. We basically joined Bobby. She's reeling from, the refreshing news that there's 1,000 new worlds. And, she's heading to have dinner at her brother's place, and there's a beggar who's pretending he was on Ganymede. That doesn't work out well for him.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, basically the TLDR from all this is, like, Bobby just kind of pontificating on, like, the immensity of humanity now having 1,000 new, not even worlds, but solar systems to explore.
Yeah. That is a lot. That is a lot of a lot of different solar systems to check out.
Yeah. We barely finished doing the first one, arguably hadn't. I really like Bobby has this great quote where, people are talking about like mining some of the new solar systems and stuff, and Bobby's like, it's crazy how quickly humanity can go from what unimaginable intelligence fashioned these soul-wrenching wonders to, well, since they're not here, can I have their stuff? And it's basically a summary of what we've seen in Cibola Burn so far, like 7 chapters in.
Yeah, just kind of wanting to grab stuff, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so critical of humanity when we're discussing these books, but like, come on, guys, dream a little bigger,
No, I think that's almost the point the book is making, is that we can go out here, but we're still going to be petty dumb monkeys.
Yeah. I love the vibe of the personalized ads on Mars. Like, Bobby noticing that there's an ad trying to offer counseling services or psychological services and trying to not to take it too personally. It's just like a fun joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this town is called Breach Candy, or this like region, which sounds very tasty. I don't know what it is. I googled it. It's apparently a neighborhood in Mumbai, so it's named after a real place. But I just think Breach Candy is such a funny name. Sounds good. Sounds tasty.
Yeah, it's where David lived in Gods of Risk. I remember.
Yeah, it seems like a goofy name.
Sound like a seaside sweet shop.
Oh,
in reality, it's an upscale coastal
wow!
neighborhood in
Thanks,
South
Google.
Mumbai.
Gemini's saying it's
yeah. Gemini's saying it out loud. I can hear it.
Yeah, Gemini just wanted to weigh in. It says it's likely named after a breach in the rocks and the Hindi word kind, a mountain pass or valley. Thank you for telling me that. Now, how can I turn you off forever? Let's find out. Go away and never come back. Thanks.
But yeah, anyway, so Bobby makes her way through what feels like quite an empty area of Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's going on here? Why is it all so quiet?
Yeah, and she goes to have dinner with David and his family. It's fun to see them again. And they're arguing about the viability of the colonies versus Mars. Like, David's basically saying we should go colonize these other planets, and his dad's like, "Oh, but we're Mars." And this is all interrupted by news of a tragedy on the first colonized planet, so we don't get to see the end of it. But it's basically like this conceptual continuation of the argument David and his dad were having, or Bobby and David's dad were having in Gods of Risk.
Yeah. And this argument is going to be had again pretty soon by a different family. But yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting. It's every time we see this argument, it just feels to me like parents trying to like instill control systems on their children to like make them live the kind of life. It's that classic like the first wave of immigrants come and have to really fight to get something, and so they're like, yeah, we fought for this, so now you can have this like life. And then the second wave, or the second generation or third generation are like, yep, all right, old man, I'm going to go do something else, and it's like this fight to, I don't know, to like have your children respect the life that you lead, but it just never quite works out, does it?
No, and I mean, because I get the instinct, like as somebody who's like 2 months into being a parent, I get the instinct to be like, I'm putting all this effort in, fucking, I don't
respect
it. Yeah, but then also like they're their own fucking creatures.
Yes,
so it's a bit like at a certain point, it's your own fault if you like did it so they could do a specific thing and you didn't check that they want that first.
Yeah, and it's counterproductive, right? I mean, that's the thing that gets me. Like, it is just anything that's like actively counterproductive. I'm like, all right, got to steer clear of that.
Well, I mean, there's the great irony of like, I sacrificed all this so you'd have the opportunity, but not the choice.
Just the exactly.
But like, so I really like how this followed. Like, I always thought it was kind of arbitrary that this prologue was from Bobby's perspective, but like doing this sort of closer analysis for the podcast, I'm like, oh, I get it now, because this is really such a conceptual next step. Like Gods of Risk, we saw David David's dad and Bobby like arguing so much about like this intergenerational Mars thing, and like whether it was fair to kind of rope kids into a project they didn't start and probably won't get to finish. And like the colonies of these new worlds are such an interesting new part on that. It's such an obvious like next step for that argument, to see someone like David arguing for the colonies as his dad desperately tries to hold on to like this multi-generational mission that he believes in.
I wonder if we'll get a version of this from Holden's perspective as well, where he's like fought and battled to survive, and the product of that has been these gates opening, and now humanity's going through them and just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. I wonder if we're going to see like, Holden as the kind of father of humanity presenting them this new opportunity and them just kind of fucking it up.
Well, I mean, he's going there to mediate between rowdy kids. So we'll
exactly,
see.
Right? Yeah.
It's also sorry. It's just fun seeing David again. Like he's all grown up now, and he's the one arguing with his dad. Whereas before it felt like Bobby was the only one who could do that. Like, that was just a fun little moment. Yeah, Gods of Risk is fun, and I liked getting to see David again.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, anyway, we sort of end it with this intro stinger, which is like something just went hella wrong.
There was a big tragedy. Let's find out what it was going to be in the next chapter.
So cut to Baja. Basically, chapter 1 is from the perspective of Baja Merton. He's a peaceful refugee from Ganymede who's loading some explosives that he's using for terrorism. His wife tries and fails to talk him out of doing a terrorism.
Yeah, and did it clock for you, Elliot, that Basia Merton is almost an anagram of Amos Burton? So something's going on here, am I right? Look, let me spell it out for you. Basia
Shit, he's cracked
Merton,
it, everyone. Everyone at home, panic, he's
Burton.
cracked it.
So look, it's almost there. You can spell, if you put 2 A's and an I in Amos, then it's Amos Burton. So there's something going on here, I'm just saying.
I'm so glad this is an audio medium so that our listeners don't have to see this, what you've just put in the notes.
I've spelled it. But it looks, it's close.
It is. I kind of hate it. But yeah. Anyway, leaving aside the massive spoiler you've just read, I really, really like how, I guess I was so excited the first time I was reading this to see what an alien world looks like, because I really trust these authors to do a cool alien world. And it's so fun to give us that, but contrast it with, like, we're getting Baja's internal, like, state, and he's just fucking tense and miserable. Like, he's walking around with a flashlight, getting mimicked by an alien lizard, and I'm like, this is the coolest shit I've seen. Like, you are the first person on this alien world, and this is so cool. And like, I don't know, Baja's just like, just like so busy with his own bullshit that he doesn't care about it at all. And like, that's just so fun to get us in immediately in the head of like, yeah, aliens cool, but like, this is still a story about like people and how fucking dumb they can be.
Yeah, I think the thing that rings the most for me on that is there's just this alien ruins that's like the background and setting to this conflict.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to be like, hey, let's go check out this alien ruin and explore it. And I'm like, guys, there's an alien ruin. Why are you not like excitedly, being an archaeologist? And they're like, no, we got to deal with our human problems. I'm like, all right, come on.
Yeah, like, just like, what should be this majesty and exciting and all. Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, but the other people are coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like not even a background thing. They're like not thinking about it at all.
Yeah. And I mean, that's essentially the conflict that gets set up for us right here at the start, which is we've got a bunch of these refugees from Ganymede, which is like a long time ago. But these basically, after Caliban's war, there was a ship full of refugees from Ganymede that had nowhere to go, and basically ended up, their best bet was just gunning it for a new world as soon as the rings opened. And then, now they're really pissed because the UN has decided that actually Royal Charter Energy has the rights to this planet.
Yeah. Now, can I ask you this? I mean, obviously the UN is from Earth, right? But
yes,
the vibe that we get here is kind of, I don't know how Mars feels about, like, is Mars like okay with Earth doing this? Like, what's...
Yeah.
And what's the OPA thinking about this? Like, because it kind of seems like they're also kind of cool with it, which is interesting. So I'm unclear if it's Earth just kind of being like, yep, we'll claim that, thank you, or if it's like the planets have an agreement and the RCE is like Earth's turn was first, and they've been like, yep, we'll give a contract to this one, and then Mars is going to draft pick the next world or whatever, and then the OPA might get one, whatever. I'm just sort of like, is it everyone's in agreement and these settlers are just their own thing, or is it Earth is just kind of doing this and everyone else is like, okay, because Mars are like the ones guarding the ring, right?
Yeah, I think we get a little bit more insight into this when Fred comes up in a bit. So let's talk about it there. But like, no, I think these are good questions.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Uh, but yeah, I guess another little fun fact. So like the colonists, or yeah, the Belter refugees have called this planet Ilus.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, is that how we're pronouncing that? Ilus, not
that's how
Ilus.
I've been pronouncing it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I was calling the book
Ilus.
Cibola Burn until about like
I still feel like
3
it
months
should
ago.
be Cibola Burn.
Yeah, no, apparently not. The audiobook disagrees. But anyway, so like, but the point is, I was getting the book name wrong until very recently. So for all I know, I've been pronouncing Ilus wrong for all these years.
Okay.
But Ilus is the brother of Ganymede in like Greek mythology, which I was like, that's just a fun little name for the colonists to give this planet.
Yeah, it's a good name for it. A lot of good names. That's something this series has always done well. They're good at naming things.
Yeah, I've got a few other great ones to call out from this first chunk of the book. Although in saying that, I also do love. I mean, we'll get into it more later, but Earth's official name for this one is New Terra,
Yeah,
which
classic.
is a
Love that.
delightfully dog shit name.
It's
Like,
atrocious.
It's so bad, but also very like, so believable. Like we obviously live in Australia. We've both spent time in America, both places that the British colonized and just basically called new place from before.
Yep, classic.
And yeah, so I was just like, yep, sounds about right. I hate it. But so okay, something I want to call out, because I did not notice this the entire first time I read Cibola Burn, and I felt like an idiot. I've just got to call it out. Bajia, we've met him before. He was in Caliban's War.
He's the other guy who Prax goes and talks to about their lost son. He's in Prax's daycare or May's daycare class.
Yes, well, and Katoa had the same like genetic thing she did, and was experimented on by Strickland or whatever his actual name was.
Yeah. So that clocked for me when he mentioned Katoa. I think it was just like, oh wait, is this guy? Oh yeah, Bajia. That name kind of does ring a bell. Yeah. We didn't really get much of a handle on his character in that book because he and Prax were in this kind of like zombie phase a little bit, and obviously his son dying is probably going to impact how he feels in this book. We'll come to that soon enough.
Yeah, it's come up. But yeah, this is the guy Prax punched. Yeah. But I guess I never figured that out until after I'd finished the book series, and there was a bit of
so funny.
Like Basha was in book 2 moment for me, and then I like reread it and I was like, fuck, they're not subtle about it. I just fully missed it. But yeah. It's like, because I mean, obviously we'll get to it later, but this book has a couple of POVs who are like people we've seen before, but not as POV characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Who else?
I'm not going to talk about how long it took me to remember that Havelock was Havelock.
Yeah, did you recognize Havelock? Did you
not
forget
for a couple
that
of
he
chapters?
Was a real character?
It took me a while to be like, oh shit, this is the Miller guy.
That's brutal.
Yeah. But anyway, Baja basically is hanging out on Ilus, and he meets up with his co-conspirators, a guy called Scotty and a guy called Coop. They're basically planning explosives on this landing pad that the new Corpo overlords need to land. And they're going to blow it up so that doesn't happen.
Yeah. A fun note, when they're talking about these alien ruins, Bajia thinks that they don't smell like the human ice tunnels that he's used to from Ganymede, so he just doesn't really think about them, which is such a strange thing to think. These tunnels smell wrong. I don't want to go in them. I mean, I get it. If you are born in creepy tunnels, then you can't just be like, oh, these tunnels are creepy, let's not go in them. Instead, you have to find something else that's different, and his thing is they smell slightly different.
Yeah, God, there's so much like there's a bit where there's like a mimic lizard, and he just kind of swats it away, like because I think it's sitting on the chair to the cart that he wants to use, so he just kind of flicks it, and it's just like, you have not been here long enough to be this disenfranchised with the wonders of the first alien life, in my opinion. And I mean, that's what's so fun about these two conflicting groups that we've got in the story so far, is you've basically got a bunch of refugees who are just here because they fucking needed somewhere to survive and nobody would let them live. and then you've got like our second generation of people who've arrived here are like the appropriately nerdy, excited people. Like we've got our Elvies who arrive here, and they're the people who you more expect to show up on the first alien planet and like Star Trek it out and be like, "This is amazing." But they've been beaten
And
here just by like people who just they're stuck at like, we need survival, please.
yeah, and the thing that makes it a bit worse for me is I'm more excited about the Elvies of the world. You know what I mean? Like, I, as a
Yeah.
reader, want to be like, oh, let's check out all the cool alien shit. Like, what's going on this planet? Like that. That's like naturally where my reading mind wants to ally with, because of course it is. We've got the mystery of a new alien planet, and so I'm very, as I recognize and as we'll discuss, biased against these settlers.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah, it's such a fun setup. Also, we're gonna have to get Georgia back because there's this great bit where Bajia calls out that like Coop is just sort of sitting there like scowling at the sky with bared teeth, and Bajia sort of mentions like Coop was an old school belter and the agoraphobia treatments had been harder for him than the others.
Yeah.
What the fuck does agoraphobia treatment
Yeah,
look like?
what does that mean other than just like immersion therapy?
Yeah,
Is there a treatment other than immersion therapy? I don't get it.
Yeah, because we saw I really really loved that moment in Caliban's War where we see Bobby get like floored,
Yeah,
by Earth like the first time she's out of the tunnel. And I
yeah.
get that that's harder for belters and all that, but like I'm so curious if there's either in real life or even just within the fiction of this world any concept of what agoraphobia treatment is for
Yeah,
belters.
yeah. Maybe we'll see it later. I mean,
Like, yeah,
maybe
do they stick 'em in
Bobby's gonna
a
get it in a few chapters.
Yeah, do they stick them in like a dome that's all LED screens and like slowly make the dome look bigger and bigger? Like,
Or like they put you in a little box, but instead of the walls like crushing you, they like expand slowly and slowly over time. And if you freak out, they like bring them back in for a bit, and then once you calm down, they just start expanding them again until you're like, yeah,
I guess this would be a good one for VR actually, but anyway.
yeah, true.
Anyway, like getting back to Illis / New Terra, just as Baja and Co are like finishing up their work setting the explosives, their mate Peter comes with a pretty important update, which is RCE is actually here right now.
Oops.
They're on their way to land, and if we set off the bombs right now, they're probably all going to die.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this news comes just as it's too late to undo it. So they
Trapped.
Yeah, they kind of scramble, get away, blow it up as soon as they can, and it just doesn't really work out great for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, which is rough. So yeah, Barzia tries to stop it, but doesn't work, which is good. I mean, at least he tried. He tries to do the right thing. Peter and Coop are not really very helpful here.
No, like I think, yeah, Baja definitely. It helps that we're in his head, obviously, but it's like, okay, he's fine with property damage, but he didn't want to do a murder, and I'm like, okay, cool, like that's someone I can work with. You know what I mean? Like when this was just blowing up corporate property, he was all for it, and then as soon as lives are on the line, he was trying to undo it, and I'm like, okay, like that's not too radical a position. Whereas like Coop kind of gave me the vibes that he like did this explicitly on purpose because it was his job to check how like when RCE was coming, and his whole reaction just gave me the vibes of like he's like, oh no, oh well, and he's called out as an old school belter and has the OPA tattoo, so like it just it doesn't it doesn't seem like the most outrageous profiling, I guess, but like so Coop like has me worried, but Bar's just sort of like, okay, there's someone sensible in here.
Yeah. I didn't think that when I first read this chapter, but how things go later in reading your notes, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm fully on board with the idea that Coop planned this. And that's pretty fucked up. Like he's willing to go to violence immediately, that means.
Yeah.
So that's no good. Given what we learn about Coop as well, that seems pretty likely.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't seem like a stand-up dude.
No.
But we will come back to him. For now, we actually cut to chapter 2 is our first LV chapter. And so she's one of the people on the shuttle that just has
That
shrapnel
just
blown into it.
blew up. Yeah.
And so it's a fun sort of immediate cut too. And yeah, LV is a doctor. I think it is an Earther, but was kind of based in the outer planets at the time when she got this contract, a bit like Anna, I guess. Anyway, she doesn't have a very smooth landing, but she does survive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yay. Yeah, she's panicking in the crash couch here, and I think that's fun, like, to introduce her character to us, because I think we've got a lot of pretty cool operators in this book series. The POV characters are fairly cool operators, other than maybe Anna. Prax
Yeah.
wasn't really, but he was so emotionally dead for the first like half of that book that it kind of felt like he was.
He was malnourished to the point that he couldn't react with fervor. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So yeah, it's fun to have LV, who's just like kind of a doofus. We get a bit more of that later as well. Although I have to say, LV is so close to Elvis that as I'm typing my notes, every time I type LV, it puts in Elvis. So if you see Elvis in my notes, Elliot, just know I probably mean LV.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I had to do when writing the notes for this chapter was add LV to my Google like Docs dictionary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, one of the fun things we get is like in LV's narration here, she's like thinking on the nature of RCE's journey to study and understand new Terra. And she pretty much immediately just draws a giant old comparison to the colonization of the Americas, which is like fun and makes sense.
Yeah.
I particularly like there's the time comparison. Like she's like, it took you 6 months back in the day to get to the new world. And now to get to New Terra, you need 18 months in like a different kind of ship, but it's still kind of the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
And it is just like how it isn't really until I read this the first time how I was like, oh, okay, like yeah, we've really just recreated the age of exploration, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And of course, colonization as a metaphor for this conflict is pretty interesting as well, because there's almost a world where the Barzia and his team are trying to kind of present themselves as the locals.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact amount of time. I feel like it's like maybe 2 months that they've been here. I don't know what it really is, but
I think it might be. God, I need
like,
to check.
maybe it's more like a year or two. But
I'd say
way,
6 months to a year would be my guess. But
pretty short amount of time. And the other thing this made me realize is like, Elvi is coming here to understand and ensure that humanity doesn't disrupt the local fauna, right? Whereas in the very first chapter with Barzia, we see their team just kind of like intentionally not caring about the fauna. Like they flick away one of the mimic lizards or whatever. And that was just kind of a nothing thing when I first read it. But when I got to this chapter and this is more specifically presented, I'm like, oh, so they are setting up like the I don't know. I'm just going to call them the OPA, even though I know that's not right.
Yeah, we don't really have a better term right now. So yeah,
the OPA contingent are here because they need to be here to survive, and I guess the charitable readers, they don't have the luxury to care about the local fauna. But they just flicked a random lizard for no reason. So like, I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. So yeah, it's just interesting. Like every lens that we can see this through, I'm liking Elvie and her crew more and more.
Yeah. I think that's like such a good point that because again, there's the comparison made to the Americas, and one of the quotes in this, it's from this chapter, I believe, is basically about how like, there was some pretty rough plagues for the native people of the Americas that the Europeans brought with them, and was a big part of why they went, wait, this is like, we have Elvie, we're going to see her later talk about like potentially trying to mitigate biohazards that the humans represent for this ecosystem. And so like Elvie's here comparing it to the Americas, and there's some core differences in that as far as we know, the native life isn't like sentient. But like there's such a risk of biocontaminants arguably going either way. But yeah, like it doesn't put the best light on our Belter colonists that they just really don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a fun. Yeah, this is such a fun like play on the horrible history of colonization that humanity and well Western society in particular has. And now that like Earth is coming here representing what England and Spain were back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, oh, I also want. I did this. So there's we get the name of the ship that the RCE's coming on, and it's the Edward Israel. So I actually googled that for the first time ever because I was like, why is it called that? And Edward Israel was an astronomer who was part of a failed expedition to the Arctic, which was sponsored by the United States government. So that's fun. That's a like. Yeah, makes sense. Like that, it's just very funny that would be who you'd name your ship after as you go. Like that. That's like calling it the Titanic too. Like you're really inviting some misfortune going out for. Because I think like the whole point of Edward Israel's original thing to the Arctic was to like study magnetism and like the things in these like exotic locations, and so it's just like yeah, and then it failed on it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's fun. It's fun to name it after this failed expedition. And they ran out of good explorers to name things after, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and like again, the story goes into it a bit more, but the Edward Israel, like this tin box of choice, is a retrofitted water hauler, which we love nostalgia for water haulers in this book series.
Yep.
But it was before it was a water hauler, it was a colony ship. So it was a colony ship that once people kind of had started exploring the outer planets, it was like, well, we don't need colony ships anymore. So they retrofitted it into a water hauler. And then now the ring's opened and everyone's like, okay, retrofit it back. Like it's we saw it a lot with like the Behemoth / the Nauvoo in the previous books, and I guess we're going to get to talk about that again in a few chapters as well. But like,
Yep.
I love the way the authors just keep like demonstrating this way humans kind of recycle and like or go back to old habits through all these giant ships just kind of being repurposed.
Yeah, it's just the cycles of time endlessly repeating, huh?
Yeah.
That's what we're getting back into with this colonialism stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Like this. Like I feel like the book is really starting to ask as we get into this. Like, okay, this is 1,000 New Worlds. Humanity has a chance for a new era to do things again properly. Are we going to do it? So far, the answer seems like no.
Yeah.
But like yeah, like and I mean it's so fun that we're not just seeing that through the nature of the conflict, but like literally we're in ships that are like, well, it was a colony ship, but then we got bored with colony ships, so we turned it back. But now we need them again, so we turned it back again. Yeah, like yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, while LV is like comatose on the ground from the crash, we get a little flashback and start to get a glimpse of the crew that RCE has put together for this first interstellar colonization. This actually looks like the crew you'd want, pretty much like LV and a bunch of other scientists. Like we meet Fires, so I think is like a geologist, and I don't know if we get told what Eric did. Um, but LV has this great conversation with Governor Trying, who's been sent here to be, the first governor of this new world, I guess. And I mean, I love the choice of governor because I know they still call them governors in the US, but like to me here in Australia, governor is the term from ye olde colonization
From
days.
the Wild West.
Yeah, like we had the governor of New South Wales up until the point we became a real country, and then you didn't need governors anymore.
Yeah.
And
except
so calling,
the Governor General, who's in charge of all the governors in the old saloon town.
But yeah, so like calling him Governor Trying really like just leans into the colonization for me.
Yeah. It feels like he's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, whereas for Americans, it may do that less, but I don't know. Anyway, Governor Trying is having this great conversation with LV about like, I just want to make sure we're remembered well, and we do the right thing. But then he gets pulled away from that by his head of security, a guy called Murtry, who we'll see more of later. But yeah, this is basically our crew of intellectuals, and Governor Trying wants to try and do well. So it's a pretty good set.
Governor Trying is a very funny name, considering that he dies very quickly. It didn't clock for me how silly that name is for a character who's just gonna die immediately.
I wonder, is Trying like an actual surname, or like
maybe a space surname?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Google's not giving me much. Anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, I really like as well, like learning a bit about the actual science that the scientists on this expedition too. So because you got like Fayez, who's a geologist that worked on Mars, and it's so obvious to me that it's like, okay, we're going to survey a new planet for the first time. Like, let's get our top geologists to understand the geology of this new world. Like, you're like, yeah, 100%, I get it.
Mm.
And then LV does exobiology, which is just such a funny thing to be a professional in, because up until really fucking recently, that was pointless, right? Like her entire field has gone from extremely theoretical to extremely practical in an extraordinarily short amount of time.
Yeah. Now that Proto Molecule's out here and we've got the rings, it's like, oh yeah. I wonder, how long has it been since the first book? Like, has it been enough time for biologists to re-specialize in exobiology? The answer is probably yes.
No, we get a bit more of a timeline in Holden's chapters later, but it's been 2 years since the rings opened.
Yeah, okay. So that's enough time.
And I think there was about 3-ish years between Leviathan Wake starting and the ring gates opening. So it's only been like 5 years since the proto molecule became. And you got to remember, for about half of that, most of humanity didn't know it was an aliens.
Yeah, but I think, if LV was just a regular old biologist working on the Mars, whatever, terraforming project or whatever it would have been, right? I mean, she was an Earther or something, so whatever. Or working on how to engineer a more resilient crop for Ganymede or whatever it would be. And then, proto-molecule rocks up and it's like, okay, you know what? Exobiology is a booming industry. Let's retrain. I think that'd take maybe 2 years. And now there's probably a lot more exobiologists.
I don't think there's been enough time for I more get the vibe LV was somebody who was doing in the same way like Georgia did the course on space medicine, right? It's like 99% of people who do this course are never gonna fucking
never find a job. Real. They go into teaching because there's no other jobs in exobiology.
We haven't been told yet, but I do assume LV's previous job was teaching exobiology at another university. Because what else would an exobiologist do up until also it just must have been so funny to be doing if you're doing exobiology, because you would have been one of those people where everyone's like, get a real fucking job, right? That absolutely must have been a hallmark of your existence as an exobiologist. Is like, hey, could you try to help with reality, please? And then the proto molecule would come up, and the amount of smugness and excitement there must have been in exobiology that they had an actual alien thing to explore would have been huge. And then 6 months later, the ring opens, and it's now there's potentially 1,000 other living world. That small window where they would have all the exobiologists must have been so excited about the proto molecule, and then that got blasted into nothingness again so quickly. What a time to be an exobiologist.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think the flashback we're going to get of LV deciding, okay, exobiology is now finally enough of a job that I can start looking for something that isn't teaching, I think will be a fun bit of backstory to get into.
It's also she's so lucky to be here. I mean, kind of anyone is I would happily go and be a janitor or something for the first expedition to an alien planet, because fucking as if you wouldn't. But just somebody who dedicated their life to a theoretical thing that shouldn't have ever had any relevance, and now suddenly she's vitally important to going out here. It's just you are so lucky. It's so incredible. That's just such a fun concept.
Yeah.
We also learn that LV is first and foremost a professional, even if it was theoretical up until now, but like she basically is a bit judgy of all the hooking up and romantic entanglements that's been going on in the crew in these 18 months.
Mm.
Like shipboard romances have come up a lot in this series and also James S. A. Corey's other series. But like I guess it's funny that we immediately established like, okay, like Elvie's not about that. Like Holden went in a very different direction with shipboard romances.
Yeah.
But Elvie's a professional. She's not here to get caught up in all that. And I guess like after we've just had this whole conversation about how she's like I don't assume exobiologists did practicals like expeditions, you know, like a
No, of course
geologist.
not. What could they
Yeah,
do?
no, exactly. So geologists have always like had to go out and do like field work. So
Mm.
someone like Fayez or Eric or whatever, like they'd have experience with the dynamics of like field work relationships or all that. Presumably, this is Elvie's first ever fucking actual field work. So like she's absolutely not engaging with that at all. But like, yeah, like I don't know. It's just funny how she's like, God, it feels so. This is a whole new world for her. And yeah, like I don't know, that's just like a fun setup for this girl who's gone from such a stupidly theoretical study to like being in amongst a very long field work assignment.
Yeah, it must be fun having your job finally pan out. One day it'll happen to me. Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess back in the present, Elvie wakes up
Yep.
from the crash. We meet Felcia again, so that's Baja's wife.
Mhm.
She's the doctor, and she and some of the other locals are basically doing medical work on the survivors of the crash,
Yep.
including Elvie, who's concussed as fuck.
Yep.
So yeah, Eric died. Governor Trying died. Pretty much all their supplies died. This is a clusterfuck because they like I think the Belters are barely holding shit together. They came out with just enough supplies to really eke out an existence till they can get rich from the lithium.
Yes.
RCE came with all the equipment they need to survive here for however many years, and that's
And then it all got blown up. Yeah.
mostly just got blown up. So that like yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, so that's fun. I do like that Felcia is there immediately trying to save the people that her husband contributed to killing.
Yeah.
It's a very fun setup of like, yeah, you know what? Felcia is rad. Felcia, the only character of the original settlers that I respect so far.
Oh no, the daughter's okay. I've already forgotten her name, but we'll get there.
Lucia, maybe.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also like to go from that setup of Governor Trying really cares, and he's going to be such a like the book is just like, hey,
So
this guy's going to
good.
be a good, caring, like he's here for the right reasons. Governor immediately dead.
Yeah.
Like such a dick move to like dangle the hope in front of us and then immediately take it away. Great, right?
It is really funny. I will get into this a bit later as well, but Murtry, who is the head of security, was introduced in this chapter as like the opposite of Governor Trying, and so we get this beat of like I didn't clock it in the chapter because I didn't know Governor Trying was going to die, but it's like this beat of Elvie being like, "Oh, Governor Trying, I love him so good. He's so like personable and friendly." Blah blah blah. Murtry is kind of the opposite. Not really personable, very business, very much the opposite of this Governor Trying guy who I like. And then Trying dies, and Murtry is now kind of seemingly in charge. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a funny way to like introduce a character. It's like surviving, but being the opposite of the one we actually liked.
I mean, yeah, it's such classic storytelling. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's where we leave Elvie for now, and we actually jump to another POV from the RCE expedition. It's our old pal Havelock.
Whoa.
He's working security on the Edward Israel, and just kind of continuing to be a sponge for whoever he's around at the time.
Yeah, which is a very funny bit of self-awareness to have.
Yeah, I like how he's not unaware of it. Like he very much is just like, yeah, I'm a bit of a sponge, but you know, what's you gonna do?
Yeah. No, but so this book is basically all returning characters. So Bobby, Basia, Havelock, and it makes me think Elvie was probably someone and we've forgotten about her. Like she bumped into Miller at a supermarket or something.
Yeah. No, yeah, LV was actually just in the background of one of the scene, waving at the camera. Yeah, I guess it's funny. LV already, I guess, just because she's like a nice, panicky science nerd, I've already kind of sorted her next to Anna in my head. So like she's
Yeah.
it's not a direct tie, but she's maybe like a conceptual sequel. Yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I really wanted to call out because like seeing Havelock just internally in his own monologue be like, "Yeah, I'm a bit of a sponge." Like immediately jogged this quote from Leviathan Wakes into my head, so I went and dug it up just now. And it's when like Havelock's left series and is like video chatting with Miller in the sort of back half of Leviathan Wakes. And he's talking about working for Protogen Security because this guy just fucking rotates security companies.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things Havelock says to Miller is like, there are a lot of guys who gave me shit about series, working with the vacuum heads, that kind of thing. But the way things are here, it's better to be on the good side of the bad guys. It's just that kind of job. And Miller thinks there was an apology in his expression, but Miller understood. Working in some corporations was like going to prison. You adopted the views of the people around you. A belter might get hired, but he never belonged. And I'm pretty sure this is also like one of the last times we saw Havelock. So like,
yes, he was having this exact conversation, kind of the reverse with Miller, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think we like had a conversation about it when we were covering that part of Leviathan Wakes, and that like Havelock had just started using some more racisty terms for belters. But
Yes.
like even Miller was just a bit like, you got to do what you got to do, fitting into the Brotherhood or whatever. And so it is just kind of fun that's really the note we left off with Havelock on in Leviathan Wakes. We're picking up like 3 books later, and
it's
he's
clearly
just immediately
become
like
foundational to his identity.
Yeah, exactly. We're just immediately landing back with this dude is like, yep, I'm a spongy boy. Like,
yeah, it's good stuff. It's interesting. Again, I do like the concept of getting a character who we kind of very briefly interacted with. Now we're going to get to interact with them more, but we didn't really know really what his personality was, other than he was kind of a nice guy, right? Like that's the vibe.
Yeah, like he was a fun foil for Miller, and that's all he really was in that story. So it's kind of cool to expand on that. Yeah, and I mean, speaking of, like we see Havelock, he's kind of the most junior member of the Edward Israel's security team, but he meets up with the rest of them to talk about next steps now that they've been terrorismed.
Yeah, and you know what? Mercury does seem relatively reasonable. Like he doesn't want to overreact with violence, but he's also not just going to like back down and forget that they just murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah, like I agree that like all things considered, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, he recognizes the political complications of what their reaction is here, and that leads him to cautiousness, which I think is a good instinct.
Yeah. I also really like because we're kind of introduced to Mercury as like somebody who has worked in like pretty hardcore prisons and stuff. And so like he's asking Havelock like, hey, how are the crew reacting? And Havelock's summary is basically most of them just kind of want all the terrorism to go away so they can get on with their research. And Mercury's like, oh, fuck, like God bless eggheads. Like I love this. And like that is just really funny to me to imagine this guy is used to like prison riots at the drop of a hat or something, or like all these inhumane conditions leading to people being horrible or something. And now they're just in charge of a bunch of scientists who are like, can we leave the violence behind? I just want to do violence on the native wildlife, please. Like that must be refreshing for someone like Mercury.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, like there's a lot of I never wrote this down, but just throughout all of Havelock's perspective here, there's so much of like he's like, oh, it was the communique I got was labeled as only for security personnel. He's like, I'm kind of the most junior member on the team, but like I'm still in the team, and like this is a dude who's just so desperate to be a part of a crew. which I just think is really funny because every time we see him, he's working for a different security
For a different
organization.
crew. Like, has he not found his home yet?
Yeah, just sit
What's
still for
going
5
on?
fucking minutes and you might do all right, bud.
Or maybe if they're all like Star Helix and they're just like fully fucked, then maybe it is just these private security firms are no good.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I could believe it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, it's like so far I think like the closest thing we've seen to this dude actually having a long-term friend is like Miller, which is like fuck, that's sad. Like, but yeah, anyway, Havelock tries to have a rest as Edward Israel gets ready to figure out start sending shuttles, the small shuttles of people down and keep establishing their base.
Yeah.
Mertry kind of comes in to just have like a one-on-one off the record chat, basically just like trying to get an idea of how racist he should be against Belters. And like let's keep a closer eye on the Belters in our crew just in case they forget whose side they're on. And for all we'll say that like Mertry seemed fairly balanced in the previous one, this is like the red flag moment for me a bit of like, okay, like we're getting a little bit racisty here. And Havelock just kind of like willingly like walks into it, or not even walks into it makes it sound like he hits the door. He just wades into it, like he's just happily kind of going for a swim.
Yeah, got to be a bit more careful, buddy. But whatever.
But yeah. Anyway, this is when we do get the news that the UN is sending a mediator to help these two sides come to a compromise.
Yeah. Yay. Who's it going to be?
Well, before we get to talk about that, we have an interlude from the investigator.
What do you mean interlude? What? This book has interludes?
It's just like a wild boat. No,
I know.
Yeah.
Is that why you want to cover this? We only cover stories with interludes on this podcast.
No, I'm done now. Yeah, we can wrap it up. No, so I intentionally did not write any black text summary of this interlude because I want to hear from you what you think this interlude is.
Man, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's kind of the proto molecule conceptualizing its sentience. I don't know. Like that's how you describe it. And it's pretty clear by the end of it that it's like reflecting on making Miller, because the seed of Miller is this drive to investigate, and it has this mystery that it needs solved, which is, well, where the fuck are my guys? And it seems to spend years making him more complex, blah, blah, and then that's confirmed in our next chapter, seemingly. That's what's being described here. But there's a lot of kind of metaphor here, and there's also a lot of like the chaos of all these like ideas that are formed from the minds of the people that it's consumed.
Yes.
Just kind of swirling around. I think this like one needs a reread.
Sorry. Yes. No, I think a reread is a great call. And I was very glad to finally have an excuse to do that for this podcast because I haven't touched these since the first time through. And I guess I'm gonna like, I don't want to get too much into thoughts on it in case like because these are ideas that evolve as you are reading this story. But I do like I love that. I guess one thing that it is seemingly set up is that we sort of have the proto molecule as a layer on top of all these humans that it's absorbed, and I think it calls them natives or something, which obviously is a fun tie into like all of our colonizing talk. But this like the top layer of this cascade of whatever the fuck is the proto molecule, which like is specifically set up as not really being conscious. Like, the one quote I really want to pull out is, "It is unaware that it exists, empty, except in the insignificant parts." And that's such a like the concept that the sentient part of this organism is like our Millers, the like little unimportant bits. Like that's just such an interesting cosmic horror concept that like we've got these people boiling alive. I think we get another quote to pull out is like there's an oblivious person who is re-experiencing her flesh falling from her bones, the nausea, the fear, and she begs for death as she has for years now. And like that's never going to be addressed because the proto molecule, like the bit that is in control, is the non-sentient part, that is like kind of using sentient things. It's a bit like taking all your directions from a shitty AI. Like it's great cosmic horror.
Yeah, it is horrifying. It's these people reliving their deaths. And yeah, I mean, you know, the protomolecule isn't sentient, so we can't ascribe this pain at its feet, really. But people who made it, what's their deal? Do you wonder?
Yeah, at a certain point, if you wrote software with these kind of logic things unaccounted for, like you got to take some responsibility, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's hard to wrap your head around exactly what we're seeing, but there's some interesting like tidbits into like what this organism is that it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I also really want to call out interspersed throughout the interlude are lines from a song. And you know, since we're here for the podcast for the first time ever, I've like looked up all these lines and where they're from. And this is really fun, so I want to talk about it. I won't read the lines, but basically they talk about like, you know, a dead person and now being made out of coral and all that. And it's a song from The Tempest, like the Shakespeare play, which is really fun because that's the Shakespeare play that also features Caliban.
Oh, that is cute.
So we've talked about The Tempest on this podcast before. I think last time we said neither of us had seen it. I believe that's still true. But basically, so to jog everyone's memories in case people have forgotten, like Caliban was the half human, half monster titular reference of Caliban's War. And the song that is being sung by the humans under the protomolecules capture or whatever in this interlude is sung by Ariel, who is like Caliban's opposite in the play.
The Little Mermaid.
Well, yeah, I guess the Little Mermaid was named after.
Yeah, I guess so.
This Ariel's a dude though. He's a nymph, but he's a guy. So like, I definitely I was reading the plot summary of The Tempest, and when someone's called Ariel and is a nymph, I was definitely thinking girl for quite a while. But I think Ariel's a dude.
Okay.
Anyway, but like, so Caliban is like, you know, the half human, half monster sort of thing, and he both Caliban and Ariel are like the slaves of this like wizard dude who's kind of the main character.
Yeah.
And Caliban is not like happy about being a slave and tries to rebel and ends up not succeeding and kind of being like humbled and signing up to work for Prospero again. Whereas Ariel is like this air spirit who's kind of very like eloquent and everything, but like basically Ariel is such a good servant that at the end Prospero grants Ariel freedom from servitude. So Ariel is like a good servant and gets freedom for it. And so that's like some really funny imagery to layer into, like, I guess we saw our human attempt at human protomolecule hybrids.
Yeah.
And that was compared to Caliban. And now we've like kind of indirectly already, we are comparing whatever the fuck we want to call this. I guess the investigator is what it's called in the thingy.
It's interesting.
already having comparisons drawn to Ariel, the good servant.
Well, because that really is what the protomolecule is, right? At its core, it's this kind of like servant that is mindlessly carrying out the wishes of its long dead master. So this as an allegory is very interesting to think about. Of like, what does it say if it is a servant that is kind of developing slightly more sentience through its its adoption of humanity and human minds. I mean, I don't want to just turn this into the Mercy of Gods podcast, but shit, man, there's some parallels that you can think about there, aren't there?
Look, we've got to save that for like a little bonus episode or something.
Sure.
But yeah, it was very fun because when you asked me, are there spoilers for like The Expanse in the Mercy of Gods when you wanted to start reading, I was like, no. I mean, like, arguably, there's some stuff about like how because there's like obviously you see there's some overlap in how they treat the concept of like non-human stuff,
and just some themes that they seem to want to explore.
Well, even like the shipboard romance stuff was pretty big in Faith of Beasts, from Jess. But anyway, we'll save that. We'll do. I want to call it Carrick's on My Wayward Son because I think that's a hilariously shit title.
It's really bad.
Maybe we'll do that at some point. But yeah, I guess like you're right. Like the proto-molecule is trying to be a good servant. Like, basically, it was told, when you do the job, phone home. And now it's sitting here trying to phone home. No one's answering. So it's doing
Yeah.
whatever it can to, like, finish its mission because it wants the freedom that Ariel gets. Like, it sounds like, and I mean, like, so do all the people, right? Like, these people constantly dying over and over again. Sort of like, yeah, okay, cool. If we can figure out how to phone home, then the proto-molecule gets to, like, shut off because its job is done.
Yeah, but I mean, do we want to support that? Because
Well, yeah, exactly.
If we make contact with the gang who made the proto-molecule, I feel like we'll have bigger problems to worry
Yes,
about.
exactly. Like, that's, yeah. But, like, how many times would you need to feel the flesh slough off your bones before you just took that deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. To keep going with the analysis of this song from the Tempest as
Sure.
well, because
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun looking this up. I'm just going to read the description of, like, so, because we talked about, like, Ariel versus Caliban, but, like, very specifically, this song is quoted a number of times in this interlude. So I looked up, like, what Ariel's song is kind of about. And there's, like, a lot to go. It's Shakespeare, so it's been analyzed up the fucking wazoo,
Yeah.
obviously. And I didn't go that deep into it, but I really. I found this one description from an analysis that I just had to call out because it's great. But basically, Ariel's song is describing a mesmerizing magical metamorphosis, popularly known as the sea change. Basically, the song is about the drowned body of King Alonso, and this song is about reframing that death in the ocean as, like, not death, but this this alchemical transformation into a magnificent ocean treasure like coral and pearls. Like, rather than presenting a grim depiction of death and decay, the song portrays the king's passing as a beautiful and transcendent transformation.
Yeah. So that's a pretty fun application.
Yeah, like, yeah, you could see why somebody's desperately trying to make the proto-molecule see this, and, like, we see Miller quote it in the next chapter as well. Like, it's yeah, I mean, the idea that, like, death could actually be this magical transformation is pretty relevant to the people held hostage by the proto-molecule.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So then we finally get our Holden POV 4 chapters in. I feel like he's usually opened every book. But he comes up at the rear for this one, and he's just hanging out, chatting with Miller, who is, as you said, like, a lot more advanced and coherent now. So the Rosy crew, it seems like now they spend their days basically escorting ships to and from the ring space between, like, I don't know, Jupiter or the belt, basically, and the ring space.
Yeah. It's fun that Miller immediately does the Bones and Coral quote, so you really know exactly what's going on in case you missed the clues in the interlude.
Yeah, in case you didn't pick up that it was talking about Miller when it was like, this is the last native who came under my but yeah, and so yeah, it's been 2 years since Abaddon's Gate, which is fun. I like how there's pretty significant time jumps between each novel in the series. Like, I think we've had at least a year every time.
Well, especially because it took 18 months for the ship to get into the ring and through the ring and onto Ilu. So we needed a bit of time to let that sit.
Yeah. There's practical world building reasons, but I also enjoy what it does to like let us, like, rejoin the characters and do some catching up, as well as see what horrors now await them. Like, it's fun. I know this contradicts everything that I've said about Pact, but it is fun getting to let our characters have a rest and reset before we send them off on their next adventure.
Yeah.
But I really like one of the things that Holden calls out is that, like, Miller is behaving as if he's under the influence of gravity, when, like, they're not. And Holden's like, it's funny how the more advanced this Miller simulation has become, the less it cares about little details like that.
Yeah.
And that's fun because it does make sense to me that, like, as the Miller simulation gets better and more intelligent, it makes sense that, like, now it knows what does and doesn't matter when it's appearing.
Yeah, what's important and what's not. Yeah.
Like, in the last book, we had that moment where Holden was in a tiny prison on the Martian ship, and like Miller appeared like inside the walls, and it was kind of like giving Holden like vertigo and like making his brain shut down. And it's like that strikes me as the sort of thing that Miller wouldn't do now. But back then, like, it didn't know what would break Holden's brain and what wouldn't. Whereas now it's like, yeah, he'll be fine if I pretend like I've got gravity. Like, it's cool.
Yeah. It's fun. He's getting more advanced. He's getting more, I don't know, like he's getting more sentient, more coherent. I don't know what to call it, but I do think it's interesting to see is if Miller's getting smarter and smarter. He's also getting a bit more direct about what he wants from Holden, right?
Yes.
Which I think is fun. We'll see that a bit more in these chapters. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting to have the alien consciousness that's inside your head kind of starting to actually just tell you more directly what it wants, which is to go on an adventure with you and see if it can find its dad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically. Daddy Issues, the novel series. But yeah, anyway, so basically, Holden and the crew of the Rosie escort the ship to the ring space, and everyone's like, "Oh man, can we spend a few days on board just to like chill out before we go, the 6-month journey back or whatever?"
Yeah.
And Holden's like, "Absolutely not." But then
No
Fred,
way, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I
not
see where he's
quickly
coming
enough,
from.
Holden.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Fred basically rings him up and is like, "Nope, need to chat to you. Come on board, Medina Station."
Yeah. Oh, my go-to guy for going to investigate weird shit is here. Welcome. I got a job for you. Although it's not a go and investigate weird shit job, which is fun.
No, this is actually like the remit is go handle the other people investigating the weird shit. Like, you're the expert, I guess.
And kind of to take us out of the book discussion for a second, like I don't think this entire book is just going to deal with this interpersonal conflict. It feels like it's not spacey enough for it to be the focus of an entire book, which makes me think if Holden's going to this place, there's going to be some weird alien shit on this place. Therefore, the only real thing we've seen so far that's alien shit is the ruins. I suspect when we get to these ruins, something weird is going to pop off, and I'm excited to see it.
Well, I mean, yeah, no comment. But
yeah, Miller seeing these ruins, he's gonna be like, "Oh, those ruins, that's where, my dad buried the super weapon or whatever the fuck." And then it's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, great. There's actually like bigger problems to deal with." And hey, maybe we'll even unite the two different groups of settlers. We'll have to see.
See, I was just thinking, like, when you say super weapon, it's like, forget the lithium.
Yeah. Don't tell Coop about that. Yeah.
I really love that it's called Medina Station, and we even get like basically a explanation of what this name means, which I was like really excited to dump on you because it's like I know what Medina Station means. Totally forgotten that the reason I know what it means is because the book just fucking tells you.
Yeah, sorry, they stole your thunder on that one a bit.
But yeah, like I guess we talked about it a bit with the Edward Israel as well, but like this fucking Nauvoo ship has really been through the ringer of like identity crises and is now for the moment Medina Station, which is like it's the pit stop in the ring space. And yeah, there's a bit where like Alex explains to us what Medina Station means as a name, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's a really good name." And for a second, I was like, "Oh, okay, Mister, like up yourself, author." Like, but then I remember we've got two authors, and so now I'm going with the much funnier explanation of like one of them pitched the name, and the other one was like, "Man, that's so good. I'm gonna write about how good it is."
That's only slightly better than just being fully self-congratulatory.
It feels a lot better to me, to be honest.
I don't know. It's better, but
if it's the co-author doing it about it's like that's like giving you props in a fun way. So I'm way more willing to excuse it. Like, maybe this is the like Australian with tall poppy syndrome in me, but like just like an author actually being like, "Yeah, I fucking nailed it with this name," like, and I'm gonna have Alex tell them exactly how. Like that's just like such a red flag to me. Whereas like being like, "Yeah, my co-bro like thought of this and it's great, and I want everyone to know that I think it's great," is like way more forgivable to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, we also get some fun callbacks to the churn. when they're talking about the nature of Medina's name change, Amos is all like, "Names matter. Names change everything." As he stares out to the well, actually, no. You know, he stares into the camera and it's
stares
like,
out the window. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
Did
see.
you read the churn?
Yeah, no, and of course the fact that they're talking about it on the Rosie is not lost on me either.
True.
There's a lot of
Big
name
thing.
changes.
Big
There's a lot of
thing, yeah.
renaming ships in this.
Yeah, and Burton's. But yeah, I also like I love this bit where so Holden basically tells every member of the crew individually that like, no, I don't want to go aboard, and then Fred, rings up and is like, "Do you want to come aboard?" And Holden's like, "No," and he's like, "Well, are you going to?" And Holden's like, "God damn it! Like, do you ever feel like the universe is out to get you?" And Amos is just like, "Sometimes I get the sense that the universe is out to get you. It's fun to watch." Which is just, I'm just like, forget everything we said in the churn. He's my unproblematic fave. Love Amos. He's great.
Yeah. Can't hate Amos.
And I mean, yeah, obviously, like, again, Holden is, like, the universe is literally kind of out to get Holden because he's the main character of this. Like, that's how it works for most main characters in book series, right? Is the universe is kind of designed to give them grief. So, I mean, neither of them are wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, they go aboard Medina, and Fred shows Holden why he's here. Christian Avasarala has personally requested him to be the mediator for the dispute on New Terra.
Yeah. It's a interesting choice. I mean, I guess we kind of knew this was going to, like, I was hoping Anna might be the mediator, but I was like, no, it's going to be Holden and his crew because they are a beautifully diverse crew from every different walk of life. And that's like, great, they're perfect. But Avasarala is on board with this.
I think, wait, doesn't Holden pitch his theory that she wants him to fail?
That she wants him to fail. And I think it's a good theory, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Avasarala is underestimating Holden's ability to fuck things up worse than she can predict.
Yeah, which is funny because you would have thought if anybody was going to say he could fuck it up worse than I could ever predict, it would be her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love this. I mean, this is one of the favorite Avasarala quotes is Holden, know that your home planet appreciates your service. Also, try not to put your dick in this. It's fucked enough already. Which, yeah, it's just like instilling confidence in the lady who personally requested you be hired for this. Like it's such a wild turn of events for Holden to be the mediator sent in by the politician.
Yeah, it's a bad job, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, Holden clearly talks about how he thinks he's gonna turn it around. I guess that's the end of the final chapter we talk about here.
Yeah,
but I just don't trust that Holden actually can pull that off.
No,
he's not quite wily enough to pull that off.
No, and I mean, but that's also like that. What's funny is like you can almost like Avasarala is clever enough that I feel like that's kind of what she was almost able to count on the fact that she's like, I can dangle this in Holden and he's gonna know that it's a cursed offer. But also I know Holden well enough to know that he can't say no to that because we're essentially giving him the opportunity to try and fix a whole like future 1,000 worlds. And like Holden can't say no to that. Like that's basically what Naomi tells him and where this goes. But yeah, it's like I can totally see Avasarala having accounted for that, where she's like, he's gonna say yes because we're dangling the ultimate Holden carrot, which is try and save the fate of 1,000 worlds. Like, of course, he's gonna believe he can try and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's of course going to try and do it because of who he is. But
I think like I agree with you that like I think Avasarala's guess that
Avasarala's
is probably closer to where I'm at. Like,
no, I agree, and the fact that Avasarala knows he's not going to turn this down is also why it's kind of the perfect trap, and he's kind of the perfect patsy.
But yeah, and the external politics of it as well is also so good. Like you said, like he's got this crew that has kind of worked with every government. they've got like a person kind of from every corner of the solar system. Like, if there is
Well,
any mediator that can come close to claiming a lack of allegiance to one planetary body, it is weirdly the guys currently working for the OPA.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I still want to find out more about if Mars is involved with this colonization at all, but I guess we'll find out when Bobby becomes a POV character next week, hopefully.
Yeah, and I do like. I guess yeah, like to pick up that conversation again, because we do get from Fred that like Fred isn't exactly thrilled about the idea that the UN is giving out charters with like licenses to the planets. But also seemingly all he's doing about it is sending Holden and hoping Holden does do something good, which is a fucking wild strat. Um, yeah, so I guess Fred is just letting this happen for now and just consolidating his power. Like, because it basically sounds like the plan is Medina Station, control Medina Station, you control the ring space. And so as long as like Fred and his OPA control that, they kind of get to make some of the calls. So like, yeah, but like, it's surprising to me that he is so willingly going along with Avasarala being like, oh well, RCE actually has the charter that the UN gave them for the planet. And it's like, so who gave the
Yeah.
UN the right to give out charters for these
Yeah,
planets?
right.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so yeah, like Fred has to have something else cooking or something, because it's just like there's no way him and the rest of the OPA are just going to be like, yeah, no, Earth can make the call about who owns what planet. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And like you said, and then meanwhile Mars is just fucking crickets in the corner. Like, what's happening over there?
Yeah, I can't imagine Fred's just going along with this without. Well, I mean, Fred's got his dream of being the center of the universe, so
Literally, yeah.
maybe that's enough for him.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe his hope is that if he can, control the ring space, he can get enough power to exert pressure on Earth to be less cunty. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But I also want to call out Holden has like a great number of sassy like bits of narration as he's walking across Medina before he gets to Fred's office. Like he's still pretty scarred by what happened on Medina. Well, when it was the Behemoth. And he's like, yeah, Fred's trying to build his new government here, but this is just basically a graveyard. So he's building his government on a graveyard.
Yeah.
Which I guess does make it a pretty normal government, actually. So that's it's like, okay, Mr. like anarchist manifesto.
He's reinvented the traditional form of government, building it on a graveyard.
Yeah. But there's also like there's a bit where they're setting up like ferns in some of the rooms, and he's like, well, yeah, like we're in an extra dimensional alien space, but we're humans, so we remembered to bring ferns. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. This is such a I guess as we're talking about sending Holden off to be a mediator, this is quite a different man to who we saw. Like the optimism that dude had about humanity at the start of Leviathan Wakes when he sent out those broadcasts. This is a different guy. I mean, he's still Holden, but like, I feel like before he was sort of like, you just put the information out there and it'll find its way above. And now he's just sort of like, why are we bringing ferns? Like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. It is interesting.
But anyway, basically we end this chapter with Holden leaving Fred's office, and Miller is there and is basically like, hey, Holden, you should take this job. I've been telling you for ages. We've got to get out to the other places. And Holden doesn't really listen to him, but then Naomi points out that like, what is he going to do? Not try and fix the world?
Yeah.
And that does the trick.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this line. The line is, Miller was waiting for Holden outside Fred's office. And I read that and I'm like, man, Holden, your brain is like, keeps trying to fit Miller into this world. Like the idea of him waiting for Holden outside the office is such a fun way of expressing the ghost showing up again.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of true, because presumably, like, Miller was waiting for an opportunity to manifest somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But I just think it's expressed in a very funny way.
It is. It's like there's this personification to the Miller ghost. Well, no, it's not personification because he is like a person, but it's like this. Yeah, like you're right. It's like pretending like he's actually part of the fabric of the universe when he's clearly not. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it reminds me of the line that I liked from the churn, which was when Amos beat a man to death. Then the next line being when Amos was sure he was alone, as like a way to convey it. It's just like good turns of phrase like that are really what make books good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
exactly.
New way of expressing some concept.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of like knowingly incorrect like personification, because like humans love to personify things. That's kind of what like so much of storytelling is, and this is the pale reflections Elliot coming back out again. But like it's just always fun when somebody's like assigning intent to something that they know doesn't have it, but just as a way to express how they feel about it. It just always works.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess, like, speaking of pontificating about the nature of humanity, Holden has a really fun thought as he's leaving here, which is like Medina Station is being set up to like have its own soil so it can grow food, and I guess like, act as a proper gas station where you can buy like gas station food.
Yeah.
And Holden's sort of like, we're going to forget how to do this. He's like, we've got 1,000 new worlds. People aren't going to keep living in space. Like that's just kind of pointless now. So we're going to like forget how to do all these things, like, milk every ounce of nutrition out of the soil because you're on a space station in the middle of fucking nowhere and you have to. And like, I guess that's an interesting, like additional philosophical note to go into, as well. Like we're doing all this stuff on Illis/New Terra, is like also as well. Like I guess we've kind of got Belters versus Earthers, and it's like the Belters are going to be going through a bit of an identity crisis in some ways, because like, being in the belt makes a lot less sense now.
Yeah. I like the Belters being the outer planets and the border of what the outer planets means, pushing further and further out. I mean, like,
Yes.
I think it'll be interesting to see, because I think core to the Belters' identity is this idea that they are like physically different because they're on different gravities.
Yeah.
And as that falls apart a bit, Ilus, as an example, has, what was it? It was like basically Earth gravity, right?
Yeah, it's like 1.1 or something. So yeah, it's Earth gravity. Yeah.
So as that falls apart a bit and the outer planets are no longer causing a physical difference, I think it'll be really interesting to see what does the breakdown of these kind of structures look like.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. This is the outcomes of whatever the fuck happens here with Holden's mediation is going to have impact for like what it means to be. Yeah, it's like a facet. Like I guess this is like a glimpse at like some of the other questions we're going to start to ask as we get further into this conflict. Is like, what does this mean for the concept of outer planets? And that's because that's starting to come up.
Yeah.
Like I think Baja thinks a little bit about this in his next chapter, which is chapter 5. He's attending another meeting of this. I mean, even he's like, I guess it's an OPA cell, but not really. But basically, he's just getting shit for not being loyal enough because he was upset that they killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And also, I think that's funny as well, because I think right before we see him get shit for not being loyal enough, he's basically like, as he's walking to this meeting, he sees that there's like a soccer game. So there's a soccer game happening between some of the like locals and then some of the like
corporation.
Royal Charter Energy. Yeah. And he's like, well, at least they're still on different teams. Which is like,
that made me laugh so hard.
It's like baby's first metaphor type shit. But like, he's like, he's pretty salty that his own son's playing in it. But like, yeah, it's pretty funny to me that this dude would be like, how dare they like play soccer against them or whatever. And at least they're not integrating properly. And then he immediately goes there and gets shit for not being loyal enough. Like, poor dude.
Yeah. But in fairness, he isn't all in at this point, right? Like, he's obviously kind of half in, half out. And to me, at the first half of this chapter, I'm like, okay, well, which way is he going to go? Because he's obviously kind of caught in the middle and is in over his head if he's not jumping in more with 2 feet. You got to either be in for the political violence or not, but being in halfway is a mistake.
That said, I do enjoy the concept of being trapped as the guy who's like you were in for the political violence when it was on property. Now you've killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
that's hard to pull out of, like, because
Yes.
like in what world, if there's anything resembling a civilized justice system, when Holden gets here, I guess, like Bosch is in a lot of trouble and looking at a lot of years in jail or something.
Yeah,
Um,
he's in too deep for sure.
yeah, so
Um,
it would be like I'm thinking like if I was in those shoes, like if you set up to destroy property and now you've killed a bunch of people, like fuck, you might just have to kind of go all in because it's like, what am I going to do? Like back away and like let the corporation have the moral high ground and give myself in? Like, yeah.
yeah, but he's clearly not at that point yet until
um, yeah, basically, he gets like home to his wife, and that's actually worse than getting yelled at the meeting. For some reason, his marriage is on the rocks. His wife seems quite uh, not really into him since he did a mass murder, basically. But the even worse news than this is that his daughter, Felsia, wants to move back to the solar system, like Sol, and go to university. And he's basically like, absolutely the fuck not, and chucks a bit of a tanty, basically.
yeah. Yeah, he's not having a good time with it. And yeah, this is obviously not going to push him to be less violent. If there's one thing that seems to push men to violence, it is this like feeling of emasculation that he clearly feels here. So I think we're in it. This is the villain POV that we're getting for this book. Welcome back, Melba. But yeah, this conversation does again echo Bobby's family's conversation back on Mars. Like,
Yeah.
parents kind of wanting to control their children into living the life that they lead. And here it's especially bad because it's like Barzia talks about how he wanted to leave this system of control that was oppressing him, and then he's kind of recreating it a bit, which is fun.
Great cognitive dissonance. Yeah.
But then let's get into this, which is like, I don't really respect this cell of the OPA that lives here because what Barzia's wife, Lucia, is that right? Is Lucia the wife or is Felsia the wife?
Fuck.
I'm confused.
I've fully lost.
I'm gotten the mix.
It's quite late here. We're both tired, and it's showing.
And those names are so similar as well. Anyway, Barzia's wife, it describes when she decided to want to be in for this kind of exploring the new frontier plan. And to her, it was the idea of getting out from under the thumb, having a place that they can call their own, being able to grow their own food, kind of living off the land. And that's like, I respect that quite a lot, right? But what it seems like they're actually doing here, what Bazi is actually doing here, is just kind of recreating a corporation, but with them in charge, because they're here to mine lithium. They're here to mine lithium and sell it and start their own little corporation, and maybe they'll distribute the profits more equitably or whatever. But it's the same thing that they're doing explicitly, with Coop being kind of an OPA cell guy. They're just kind of recreating the OPA systems. It's just like, oh, okay, like they just want to be the guys in the big chair. That's the difference. I don't know. I don't respect Barzia at all. is my end point of this.
He needs to read Pale, because he's too capitalism brained. He's just recreating it.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's. I really like the cognitive dissonance of because I guess the one thing we haven't talked about is obviously Bajit is still clearly very, very salty about what happened to Katoa, and that's
yes.
And that's prejudiced him very specifically against the concept of like the scientific engine, I guess.
Yes.
And so it's like I think that's the interesting extra part of this too. I think Lucia, his daughter, wanting to go back and do like university. She basically wants to go and be a scientist, and he's just like he doesn't like the concept of scientists anymore, which I think is very funny considering he's married to like a surgeon. But yeah, like he what's driving him is really this want to not be in a situation where somebody can like take it and do to somebody like what happened to Katoa.
Yeah.
but what is so? But yeah, like you're right. His strategy is essentially so we'll form our own really big corporate entity, um, which just doesn't seem like a great long term fix to the problem that existing. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not. Yeah. It's not a good solution. I don't really have a good grasp on what they want other than just kind of pushing away the corp, which I understand that, but just like it's so unrealistic.
No, I guess like, but they're kind of because I think they're not delusional enough to think that they can beat this, interstellar
No.
uh, capitalism. Um, so like, I do think that there's a reasonable thing. Like the best solution if you can't is like if you can't beat them, join them is basically what they need to
Yes.
go for.
Yeah.
Um, and unfortunately, if RCE gets enough of a foothold here, that may take away their opportunity to join them. So
Mm.
like, yeah, like they are just kind of trying to get rich enough that they can
They can
not
hire
have,
lawyers.
yeah, or and that they can not have like the problems of having their kids get kidnapped by scientists and whatever. But what's like, they're very much they're not trying to like fix the solar system because that is a big ask. They're just like, well,
Yes.
we've got the opportunity now to at least like put some roots down and try to be better locally at least. Because there is
Mm.
some grand talk in his head of like how the future generations of Illis are going to be great or whatever. And I mean, I don't really see where we're laying the groundwork for that, but
Yeah.
um,
I don't know. It just feels
yeah,
very unrealistic to me.
yeah,
And their motivations aren't pure enough for me to overlook that as idealism.
that's fair. It's also like, I mean, the concept of starting something new by blowing up a landing pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but anyway, I guess going to like a whole different kind of fucked up. Let's dive into chapter 6. We're back in Elvie's point of view, and basically she is like gleefully watching this mimic lizard use its inverted stomach to eat a like little bird analog.
Yeah.
Um, and then she kind of does the same thing. She gets a little box, puts the mimic lizard in it, and then digests it for science.
Mm.
It's a very funny little moment of her like watching this thing use an external stomach and then kind of using her own technological external stomach to get it right back. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very cool little weird creature design.
Yeah. Oh, it's that whole, yeah, I don't know, it just puts her in like, yeah, the I don't know, like the brutality of nature. Like she just kind of embraces it.
Yeah.
I'd also like that she's thinking about the fact that RCE is basically settled right next to the Belter colonists because they don't really have anywhere else to go. And it is like a fairly good place. And she's like, she thinks to herself, so like a microorganism moving along a concentration gradient, all of humanity had come to these 20 square kilometers. Um, and I was just like, oh, there's the Prax POV I miss. Like, fuck, I love these science nerd POVs. So it's just like, yeah, that kind of is like a concentration gradient. I don't think a normal person would have made that connection, but like, you're right, and I love it.
Yeah. It does sadden me a bit that we know who the terrorists are. That we know it's Barzia, Coop, Peter, right? Because we get this little vibe
Sorry,
of
and
like,
Scotty.
sorry, and Scotty. Yep. We get this little vibe of Elvie walking through this town full of like nice, friendly people, but knowing that some of them were responsible for the murders, and you're just like, man, that would be a really interesting vibe for Elvie. We obviously don't get that as the audience, but I think it's a really it would be really interesting.
Yeah, I guess there's like a great opportunity here for like a train style whodunit mystery where it's like, okay,
Yeah,
these are
but
the only
obviously this,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
this book isn't a murder mystery. We're going to presumably get some proto-molecule alien shenanigans soon, and we can't have a murder mystery kind of clogging up for that. But yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, Elvie heads home after digesting the mimic lizard, and then she attends like a town meeting. It's the first town meeting of both the colonists and RCE, and she basically goes right after the security forces who are like, "We fucking know some of you killed us, and we're gonna find you."
mm,
Um, she gets up kind of right after them. It's just like, "Hey guys, I got like a 10-point plan on how we can do better job quarantining so we don't like affect the native wildlife." And is just trying to tell the Belt colonists here how to live, and they don't like that. And so she somehow gets a worse reception than like the security personnel.
Yeah, and in fairness, I don't know what she thought was going to happen here, but when she kind of is describing it in her head beforehand, I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, she's got some research on like how the local environment could be like poisonous to crops or things. There's like helpful suggestions that could have been made here, but instead it's no, how we can be more careful to not hurt the lizards. I'm like, all right, this is not going to go over well.
Well, and, like, she kind of opens with like, yeah, we got to like be careful with where we shit and stuff, and so the Belters immediately latch on to like, so now you're telling us where we can and can't shit,
Yeah,
which is
she didn't think about this very well.
No,
I'm surprised she didn't run this past the mayor or anyone, and they'd be like, "This is a bad idea."
yeah, exactly. Yeah, she needs some outside input.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's kind of doing this walk of shame back home. She doesn't even stay for the rest of the meeting. She just kind of gets off the stage and just like walks home. But she's joined by Felsia, who is leading up to a sort of a big reveal, which is she wants to know what university's like.
So such a funny beat, because of course I think Felsia is building up to confessing that her dad was the terrorist, and I'm like, oh shit, are we going to find out? And then the confession isn't that, and you're like, oh phew, and you're like, wait, no, this is actually also terrible.
Yeah, it's great because it's just like, oh, if there's one thing that's going to send Bajia the fuck off, it's going to be finding out that like one of these RCE scientists is, from his perspective, grooming his daughter.
Yeah, not just that, but the one who already he was pissed off at for trying to tell him where to shit. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, like this is so you're just like, oh, this is going to be so bad.
Yeah, it's very fun.
But yeah, so that's basically where we leave it off, is knowing that we've now got this ticking time bomb of Bajia finding out that Felsha and Elvie are chumming up. And yeah, so our last chapter for this week is a Holden one. We basically see the Rocinante pass through the gate into the new Terra system. It's still kind of like a bit of a non-event to go through the gates, basically. Like I really like how every time it's happened, the books have kind of called it out. It's like it feels like something magical should happen, but you just kind of like in a new spot now. Like it does feel like wormholes should be more grandiose. But yeah, anyway, basically space is real big. So they're gonna like the Rossi is gonna like book it to Illis, but Illis is still like about 72.8 days away from the ring. So they've still got a lot of time even at high G, and Holden gets to spend that time getting bombarded with video messages from both sides as they, try to pre-explain why they're the goodies.
Yeah. I do love the idea of Holden and us as the audience getting to spend a bit of time getting the two different conflicting propaganda videos. So we kind of have like explicitly, okay, here's what the actual demands of the two different sides are going to be. It's like a good way to set it up. And of course, they're completely incompatible. Like one side's demand is the exact opposite of the other. So there's no clear compromise or easy solution. Holden is fucked. He's clearly out of his depth. I don't know what new tricks he thinks he's got, but I just don't think he's got any.
Yeah, no, they're going to need a hell of a mediator here, and they've got Holden.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, like, Holden specifically calls out that he has some new tricks, and Naomi's like, you're an old dog, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I also, we get, like, a fun little history lesson on why lithium is valuable. So, because this planet, like, the whole thing with Illis is that it's absolutely fucking covered in lithium. And the thing is, like, lithium is, from a cosmic standpoint, quite rare. So, like, this is actually a valuable planet, because I get there's a degree of this story which is like, guys, there are 1,000 new worlds. How are we still fighting over a lithium mine?
Yeah, classic.
But like, so at least there's like a little bit more credibility to that. With like, okay, like lithium is seemingly sort of finite within the universe. So like what was made in the Big Bang is kind of all we get, because stars don't really just naturally produce it. So we either need to artificially make it or mine it.
Yeah.
So like that is I guess fun, especially because like I guess for me I was like lithium mine. I'm like I guess like lithium's like a big metal, but it's not like gold or diamond. But like the argument here is kind of gold and diamond form in space kind of naturally, whereas like lithium doesn't. So actually, from a thousand world empire perspective, lithium is more important.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't necessarily want there to be a 1,000 world empire, so I don't care about this lithium stuff.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, so we end this week's chapters with basically Holden and Miller having one of their classic, chats. And Holden is basically like, "Look, Miller, you got to answer some questions before I go here." And Miller does, but like, see again, I don't know if this is because it's the proto molecule or if it's just because it's Miller, but the answers are both obscure and not reassuring.
Yeah. No, but I do think it's the ruins. I mean, we're going to Ilus. We know there's ruins on Ilus. That's what it's going to be.
Sure, but like, I love the way there's just so many ominous things Miller says.
Yes,
yes.
Like,
how will we know when we found what you're looking for? He's like, "Oh, we'll know." It's like, okay, great. And it's like, what about
who knows
when the
what's going to happen? Yeah,
it's like, what about when the proto molecule doesn't need me anymore? It's like, if it doesn't need you, like, we're all fucked.
You'll know about it.
It's that like again, going back to Leviathan Wakes. This is what Miller was like, so I don't even think it's like. I think it's a testament to the accuracy of the simulation that Holden's asking it genuine questions we need the answer to, and Miller's just not really answering them in a way that a human gets value out of.
No.
Like that's not the alien. That's just good old fashioned Miller.
That's Miller. You reckon that's Miller's inner instinct?
Yeah. That's got nothing to do with the proto molecule in my mind. That's just Miller being fucking cryptic fuck. But anyway, so I mean that's like. I very specifically chose this as the endpoint for the first episode because, like, okay, let's we're all heading to Ilus.
Yeah, it's a good spot for it. Yeah, I kind of half expect that as soon as they get there, Miller's gonna be like, "Oh, the ruins, that's it." He's gonna activate it. Fucking monsters are gonna come out and the shit's gonna pop off.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We also I skipped over it in the notes, but this is where we get confirmation that. The reason that Miller's basically been following Holden around is because the Caliban's war monster just left a chunk of proto molecule on the ship that they missed in their cleanup, and so they've just been using that to
as a radio transmitter.
Yeah, so it's like basically half of the reason Holden got chosen is that he was just the dude who was closest enough to a convenient antenna the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess should we get into our discussion question?
Yeah, let's do
it. So we asked everyone as we head into Cibola Burn, what did you think of our original first trilogy?
Yeah. It's interesting. The response from a lot of people seemed to be that they didn't really feel like the books felt like a trilogy. So Captain Rhino was talking about this. I think it was Captain Rhino who categorized. Was it Captain Rhino that categorized the books into groups?
No, I think that was somebody else whose answer I didn't call out because it touched a little bit on.
It had spoilers in it.
The latest. It didn't really have spoilers. It was just like it was largely talking about the later books, which I'm happy to talk about, not on the podcast.
Sure. But anyway, so and I think that's interesting. I think it'll be interesting to look back. Obviously, I can't say what the next trilogy is going to feel like in comparison to the first one, but the point that I liked from Captain Rhino was book 3 didn't really feel like a climax to a trilogy, but another step on the journey, which I do think I agree with. Yeah.
No, I agree. And in retrospect, this was a bad discussion question for me to ask because it's really hard to weigh in. But I kind of agree that I think if book 3 was where the series had ended for an extended period of time, which from the TV show's perspective, it kind of is. This is where it got. That's where it got cancelled the first time. It's not a bad ending, but it doesn't feel like an ending. Like it does kind of feel like it's like a new chapter, and that can be like an interesting place to end a story, but it doesn't quite feel right for those 3. But that said, it's one of the better places to end things off.
Well, if things have to end somewhere, it's probably not the worst one.
I really liked 40i2's answer. Well, first 4002 did like a pretty big write up on why they loved Earth as a setting in the churn. And it's a great read. Like I fully recommend going into it. I particularly like their take on like they built off what you were saying about it being kind of cyberpunk, but they're like, normally cyberpunk is this very capitalist hellscape of like people being left behind because of lack of profitability.
Mm.
Whereas like the Earth that we saw in the churn was this weird kind of socialist cyberpunk that still leaves people behind, but more just because there's too many people and a system can't handle all the people. Um, and so there's going to be overflow if you try to manage people on a large scale like that. And yeah, 48 just I had some great points about why like Earth was the most interesting part of the setting to them because Mars and the Belt were like, like social structures we're used to or whatever. Whereas like this glimpse we got at Earth was just like what like somehow the most alien social structure that we've seen from our 21st century Western perspective. And like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I
But
like
getting
that.
to the actual discussion question answer, 4002 basically broke down their feelings on the books so far into like categories of like I guess how you'd review stories. So like world building, they're like amazing, top notch, love it. The gritty sci-fi, but then the alien technology feeling like magic, great fun. Um, Mixed feelings on some of the characters and stuff, but basically, like I think anyone who followed along with us and was reading all the threads will know 4002 did not like a lot of Abaddon's Gate, and that was basically what the second half of this answer boils down to is like their problems with Abaddon's Gate kind of coloring, and Caliban's War coloring
Yeah.
some of that, and it'll be interesting to see how they feel that changes or doesn't going into the rest of the books, I guess.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see that too. I did enjoy reading 4002's scathing takedowns of some things in Abaddon's Gate. So
Yeah.
I wonder whether that will persist, I guess.
Because yeah, I didn't agree with like a fair bit of it, but it was always like
It
pretty
was
well
always
put together.
entertaining. Yeah.
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 But yeah. Anyway, so
Um,
that's our discussion question for this week.
But so our discussion question for this week is how long does a population need to live in a place before they have an entitlement over it? Which is my way, I guess, of snarkily wording the core conflict here, I guess. But really, it's it's an excuse for people to put in their thoughts of what they think about the core kind of dilemma between the townies and the corpos here.
So it's funny because the way the question's phrased, it makes me think of like your Pauline Hansons or like
Yeah, sure.
the American equivalent, where it's sort of like we don't want immigrants in this country that was entirely founded by
Yes.
people invading it like 300 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I
No,
mean, I think
Pauline Hanson's happy for people to come to Australia, but only against their will if they're sent here as prisoners from a different empire.
yeah, there's like extra layers of like stupidity when it's Australia, even over America. But like that core concept of like like if you're sort of third generation, does that mean you're a native now? Like like no, but
Yeah.
Anyway, so like this is like a fun early version of that problem where if these belters have been here for like a year or two, is like is that enough? Like, is it first come first serve? Do they get dibs? Like, yeah, finders keepers, intergalactic law.
Yeah. But yeah, so let us know what you think. What you think about who's right in this conflict.
But yeah, so you can leave your please non-spoilery discussion question answers to that in the discussion thread linked in the show notes.
Yeah. And if you like the show and want to check out some of the other great things that we talk about, why not check out our Blue Sky? Is that a good segue?
Yeah, no, nailed it. And if you want to see other stuff that other people talk about, head to doofmedia.com. There's other shows that we don't even make on there, and they're good too. I mean, honestly, just not even based on like listener numbers or anything, but just based on like actually the amount of interviews they're getting to do with like the people associated with the media they cover. Matt and Scott are clearly doing like really, really well. So go get on that train before they get famous and forget the rest of us.
Yeah. And if you want to support that great work that is being done on the Doof Media Network, you can go to the Patreon and become a patron and get access to all kinds of bonus things. Go to patreon.com/Doof Media.
Yes. And aside from that, we'll see you all next week on the 13th of July as we cover chapters 8 through 14.
Bye.
Bye.